Okay, so today we will be beginning with the Bhagavad Gita. And this satsang of Bhagavad Gita, which we will be doing, will be very different than what previous recordings and previous Bhagavad Gitas I have done. If you have to actually understand the Bhagavad Gita, it's very tough. Even for spiritualists, it is very tough because it is written in a code, in a coded language. Actually, all the scriptures, whether it is the Bhagavad Gita or whether it is the Bhagavatam, every scripture that is there is totally coded. Coded means it is written in a language which appears very simple, but it is not simple. Let us say, for example, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Now, these are epics. They have been written as a form of a poetry. These poems are very, very long. Even the Vedas, they are also very long. Each Veda would have more than 400,000, which is 4 lakh verses. But in today's day and age, all those are impossible to find because most of the things are lost. So, to decipher that, you need someone who has the key to it. So the Mahabharata by itself appears like a story for normal people. Similarly, the Mahabharata, Ramayana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, everything looks like a story, but it is not. Say, for example, if I take the character called Indra. Now, Indra is called the king of gods, isn't it? As you know, Indra Dev is very well known in all the circles because he is the biggest mischief maker. And he is a person who is impossible to control. He goes about doing all kinds of stuff, which even the gods cannot understand. Finally, somebody has to bail him out. All right. So you will find that either he goes to Shiva or he goes to Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and he says, please save me, please save me. And finally, he is saved. The character Indra is called the king of gods. Indra is a short form of Indriya. Okay. Indriyas are a subset and Indra is the main one. So Indra Dev in ourselves is called the mind. And he is the person, is personified. Okay. The mind is personified into Indradev. It's an impossible task to control. If you look at the mind is one who wants to be on top of everything. There will be no such situation where Indra is not acting up. That means the mind doesn't act up. You give him a situation, any situation. You are walking down the street. Through the Indriyas, which is the eyes, Indriya, you can see the objects. Another Indriya is the hearing, which is basically connected to your ear. So through the Indriyas, he manages the whole thing. So objects outside, when they are seen through our eyes, he is the one who is on top of it. So let us say you see a beautiful object outside. Let's say a flower. The Indradev which is the mind, will say, why don't you pluck it? And you can smell it. So you end up plucking it and smelling it too. And then after that, he will say, now chuck it. So you will chuck it. So what happened to this whole thing? You have already destroyed a flower which could have been on the plant, but you have smelt it and now you have thrown it away. Sometimes the actions created by the mind are impossible to understand. Why do we do it? There is no explanation. Indra is on top of it. Please understand. Why you react in a certain way can never be understood. You know, when you are very angry, you will see that you can't have control over anything. Not a single object can be controlled. You feel that, oh, I can control this. No, you cannot. Similarly, there are Shadripus. Basically, these are the negative traits of a person. Lust, greed, anger, all these are called Shadripus. So when you are in that throes of emotion, you cannot control anything. So Indradev is that. So I've just given you one example to understand how this Indradev, which is the mind, works in a particular manner. It controls everything. And this particular character called Indradev, which is there in the story form, which is there in the mythology, which is there even in our scriptures, is nothing but the mind. The mind is represented over there. That brings us to the second part. The second part is, then these stories, why are they so important? So if you think about the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or whichever other text, why do you think they are so important to us? Is it about the gods? Is it about some story? Or is it about some teaching? Like I said, it is in the form of a code. To decipher the code is very, very critical. So all these are happening to you. See, even in the Bible, it is written, the kingdom of heaven is within you, isn't it? It is very much written over there. So what does it say? You will find that everything is within you. The Godhead to the demonic world, that is the devils, everything is within this frame of yours, this body of yours. And that is the reason why the Ramayana is constantly happening inside of you. The Mahabharata is happening inside of you. All the stories of the different gods that is there is happening inside of you. So we have to take this as characters which are within us. Got it? And that is the reason why when we are going to do the Bhagavad Gita, some amount of characters I am going to explain to you through this methodology. How does it affect you? Got it? So now, the Bhagavad Gita is 701 sometimes people say. So many verses long. It is in the second person because there is a person called Sanjaya who is relating this whole thing to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is blind. Sanjaya is sitting in the palace or some faraway place, and he is giving a commentary to Dhritarashtra. I don't think I need to explain who is Dhritarashtra and all that. Most of you know the Mahabharata. So this character is being given a first-hand understanding of what is happening in the battlefield. Now, The dialogue is between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna is the one who is the person who is asking the questions because of certain reasons. And Sri Krishna is the one who is answering them for him. This dialogue is being conveyed by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. All this is picked up from the scripture called the Mahabharata. Now, Mahabharata is recited by a person called Sutta Goswami. Okay? Sutta Goswami is a person who was told by Sukadeva. So it's a long way off. Right? Now, who is Sukadev? Sukadev is the son of the one who has written the Mahabharata as well. He is called Ved Vyas. So Ved Vyas had a son whose name was Sukadev. He was traveling, and in that his travels, now he used to be, free to the air. He would travel naked all over the world. And he will never stay in one place at one time. That means he will not be there for more than a day at one place. So the grandson of Arjun, who had been cursed that he is going to die. So he is conducting a yajna because he was going to die. And he sees across the river, Sukhdev is walking through that place, is walking down. So he requests Sukhdev to come and give him the story. And that is how the stories which are there in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Mahabharata, basically, both these are being conveyed to this person. Now, it is a long way. Now you can just think about it. Here we have Sukhdev, who has then conveyed it to Sutta Goswami. Sutta Goswami is telling it to his disciples. Now in that he is talking about, there is a person called Sanjaya. Sanjaya is reciting this to the blind king, okay, Dhritarashtra. He is talking about two characters in the Bhagavad Gita, which is Sri Krishna and Arjuna. All right. All this is a very big pile-up. So how does it relate to you? This is the question you should always ask. Everything is related to you. So how does it relate to you? Think about it. Sri Krishna is called the gods, the God. Now, there is a representation of Sri Krishna within every human being. Now, this representation is in the form of the spirit soul within you. Every scripture, whether it is the Hindu scripture or the Christians, it does not really matter. Everywhere, the God is within you, they say. God is everywhere, He is within you. So you are that soul. The soul is the divine one. He is not at all affected by anything or anybody. That is the divinity within you. That is represented by Sri Krishna in this. Arjuna is the character who is asking questions. Your body, which is going to be trying, to find out what exactly is happening to me. The querer, the person who is raising the query. That is Arjuna. There are characters within that. He has five. There are 5 brothers in all. That is why they are called Pandavas. Pandavas in that scripture represents the 5 organs which are called the sense organs. So like that, this whole scripture has been divided. So once when we come to the character, I will try to explain as much as I can about the character. So I've given you a rough understanding of what the Bhagavad Gita is. It is nothing but a very short story told in the form of a poem. It is your own story relating to you, what is happening within you. And it is written in code so that you have to decipher it with the help of your guru, who is the knowledge incarnate, who will then tell you exactly what is happening. Got it? So we will now start the Bhagavad Gita step by step. So we are doing the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. It is called the Song Divine. Now the scripture which I have in front of me is the Bhagavad Gita, the Song Divine. It is by the Gita Press. Okay. It's a simple bare text, it is called. Bare text means it has a scripture which will be there in the Sanskrit. An English explanation is given. Now, this is the largest selling Bhagavad Gita in the world. Like you have the Bible being sold by some particular agency. Here we have the Gita Press. This is a very tiny book. And it will just give you the bare text. Bare text means just the literal small translation of it. Literal kind of. So it says Dhritarashtra Uvach, which means Dhritarashtra is asking. What does he say? Dhritarashtra said, Sanjaya, gathered on the holy land of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did my son and the sons of Pandu do? The first word in this is Dhritarashtra. Now, Dhritarashtra is a term which is used over here. He is the character who is playing the father of the Kauravas, the Kurus family. He is the head of that. So he is asking Sanjaya. Sanjaya is the charioteer. So he's asking him a question. He says, gathered in this holy land of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did my son and the sons of Pandu do? What are they doing? What are these sons of Pandu, which is the Pandavas? And on the other hand, his own sons, which are the Kauravas, what exactly is happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? This is the first verse. What does it mean? Dhritarashtra is the father of the 101 children. 100 were sons and 1 was daughter. All right? So you should always remember this. So 100 sons, these are there in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a location, it's a place. So who is Dhritarashtra in us? What is Kurukshetra? Who are these 100 sons? Who are these 5 Pandavas? And there are various other people. What are they doing? This is the question which we will try to understand. Dhritarashtra is nothing but attachment. We have attachment to everything. It's like this body. We have attachment to our body like nobody's business. So even the good things and the bad things that we do, we are so much attached to it. We always try to tell ourselves that, okay, this is all right. You have to do it. And we are so much involved in our body and the actions committed by it. Just think about it. If you are spitting out, do you feel bad about your spit? No, you don't feel bad about spitting out. But the person who is watching you will not want to even touch that spit. Isn't that correct? In the same manner, that means the attachment to the stupidest object in your body is there. You are not concerned with what others are thinking, but you yourself can perform all kinds of actions because your attachment to every part of your own being is so much there. Now, you will comb your hair very nicely, and you will feel, oh, this is good. And if a hair is there in your hand, which has fallen down, you don't feel bad about it. But somebody else finds your hair in their food, I am sure they will not like it. They will want to throw away the food. This is the way we are. So attachment to our own body is the first attachment. Second attachment is to everything within our body. I have a toothache. I am so much concerned with the toothache. You cannot even imagine. Your tooth is hurting. It is painful. Nobody else can understand what is happening to your tooth. Neither the pain. Nobody can understand even an iota of how much pain you are in. Right? But it hurts you. Similarly, something goes in your eye. It hurts you a lot. Others won't understand anything about it. So Dhritarashtra is nothing but attachment. He's attached to everything. Literally everybody and everything. Some things like the Pandavas, he is not attached to. He hates them, no doubt about it. But Kauravas, the one who run the whole system, they are the rulers. So he is their father. He is a king. He cannot see. So you will find that in our daily life also, if you have children and they do something bad, suppose you have a son and your son goes and bashes up the neighbor's child, I am sure you're not going to do anything. You will say, that's okay, doesn't matter. You must have done it for something good. But if the neighbor's son bashes your son up, finished. You're going to get very affected by it. That is why it is called attachment. Attachment to your own stuff, your own children, your own body, your own whatever that is connected to you, me, myself. And it is a blind attachment. We don't see right or left where attachment is concerned. So whereas attachment is concerned, it is called Dhritarashtra over here, translated into that. Kurukshetra is a battlefield. This entire body from top to bottom is nothing but a battlefield. Constantly you are fighting a battle. Is there any time in your life you are not fighting a battle with your own self? Think about it. Even the stupidest thing in the world, you are constantly aware of it and you want to rectify it and you want to do something about it. Just imagine today, now in India, it's so common. I cannot talk about people in United States, but in India, the water is released by the municipal corporation. And for the next 2 days, there is no water. It's going to be a very painful exercise for every Indian over here. Where to get the water, how to have a bath, so on and so forth. So it's a very, very dangerous thing for people. And there will be so much of talk around it. Today, there are elections going on in India. You will find that every person is worried about it. Every person is bothered about it. Even in the US, 2024, there is going to be a election time. And just 2 days ago, Biden has said that he's going to stand for elections once again. So it's a repetition of what happened many years ago, because you have Biden on one side, you have Trump on the other side. Well, you got a very good battle going on over there. Your mind is not even going to allow you to shut up. It's going to give you stories after stories. So this is the way in which Kurukshetra is brought into the picture. Not it. Sanjaya is the one who is telling us about it. It's a second person within us. It always keeps on telling us what is happening. It is called the witness state. It is witnessing everything that is happening. It witnesses everything inside and outside of us. We are a constant witness to everything. The witness just tells us what is happening. The witness is not supposed to give definitive answers. Okay, it is only supposed to give a first-hand commentary on what is happening. So Sanjaya is represented by the witness state within us. So this was a trial session and we have done our first verse. Okay, so I will be stopping over here. So